My name is Don McNeill. I'm a Mark Twain scholar and interpreter. I do events as Mark Twain, but I'm not doing that today. Today, I'm doing a story from my life, a true story from a long time ago. I hope you enjoy it. Have you ever had someone say something to you and you knew that those words were going to stay with you for a lifetime? It happened to me. In August 1968, my dad, Charles, a man of very few words, said 5 words to me that I knew I would never forget, and those 5 words will be the last 5 words of my story today. My brother Ron is 2 years older than me. He was always the best at everything, and he was the best liked. He was the favorite child. He knew that. We all knew it. He made the best grades, straight A's on the student council. He even learned to play the guitar in a family where no one had ever played an instrument. My dad was a proud World War II veteran, and it was his dream that his sons would grow up and do military service, as generations in the past had done. His hope was that it would be Ron who would be the first to go in. And the Vietnam War was unfortunately going on. This was in 1966. Ron took ROTC classes in high school. He made straight A's. He was going to be the first officer our family ever produced. That was the plan. My dad was sure of it. But after my brother graduated from high school, he went down to take his physical in downtown St. Louis. He came home with a letter from the draft board, and it had to do with his physical. He gave the letter to my dad. My dad opened the envelope, and it said that my brother had been refused military service because of a physical condition. This was a shock. My dad read down to the bottom of the letter where it said, reason for refusal, and it had 2 words. The words were hammer toes. None of us had ever heard of hammer toes, so my dad went to the bookcase where we had the Encyclopedia Britannica, and he pulled out the H volume, and he went to the section on hammer toes, and he read aloud to the family. And it said, hammer toes, a condition in which the toes tend to curl under, making walking and especially running very difficult. He closed the book, took it back to the bookcase. And by the way, on top of the bookcase were all the trophies my brother had won for long distance running. He came back, sat at the table, and now everyone looked at me. And my mom said, Don, take off your shoes and socks. Well, I did. And the whole family looked at my feet. And my 11-year-old sister, Karen, said, those don't look like hammer toes. Well, she was right. And I would be eligible for service. 2 years later, I took the same physical my brother had failed. I came home with a letter like he did. My dad opened the letter, and it said, congratulations, you passed the test, you qualify, prepare to report for duty within 30 days. My dad was happy. He was finally going to have a son who was going to do military service. But this was the height of the war in Vietnam. My mom was, of course, very kind. For the next 3 weeks, my dad insisted that I go to his Veterans of Foreign Wars meetings with him, where men eat chicken, smoke cigarettes, drink beer, and talk about war. So I did. Very little was said between us. The 3 weeks passed, and the 4th week, I was due to report. I had to go to training camp by bus. My mom stayed home that day. She couldn't stand going. She said goodbye to me at home. My dad drove me to the bus station. When we arrived, we had about a half an hour. before the bus was scheduled to leave. So we sat. I can remember leaning against the hood of my dad's old Buick, and I thought, this is going to be the time when my dad and I finally connect on a personal level. I made up my mind that I would not be the next one to speak. This was my dad's moment, and I wasn't going to ruin it. And we waited. Well, finally, it was 5 minutes before the bus was due to leave. I was still waiting for my dad to speak. I imagined that he might say, don't volunteer for nothing. Don't be a fool. I imagined that he might say, I'm proud of you. I even imagined that he might say, I'm sorry for the way things have been between us. And if you could just come home safe, I promise things will be different. And I waited. Finally, my dad looked at me. We had eye contact. He gave me just a hint of a smile. And finally he said, Hammer toss. Isn't that something?